Welcome, welcome. Welcome. I hope you're good. It's a good day for you to be here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you're glad to be here. And thank you for joining me because today I want us to ask ourselves several questions in regards to the adversity that we could have faced and how that is building our resilience. We know that when we face adversity, if we are ready to grow through that, then we can be able to become better and be the best versions of ourselves. So welcome once again to today. My name is Winnie Kamuya, CEO, International Renaissance Center, an international best-selling author, a speaker, and a coach. And today, we want to ask ourselves and look at the various adversities that we could be facing and 10 ways in which those adversities could be building resilience in our lives, in your life, in my life. And I'm happy to have you here and thank you for joining. I believe that you want to know how these challenging times are providing you an opportunity to become a resilient leader, a resilient person, and how it's changing your life. So let's go through some of the ways in which adversity can help you become a resilient person. So if you're facing resilience, then if you're facing adversity, for sure, it means you're growing in certain areas. There are various adversities that we all face, you, me, and everyone else. And they could be physical. This is anything that could have happened to injure you. If you are injured, how do you overcome that physical adversity? Like, how do you grow away or out of that physical adversity? I've seen great great leaders who have come out of a physical adversity and become even somebody they never thought they could be because they chose to grow. They chose to use that adversity to become the best version of themselves and thereby becoming an inspiration to the world. What about mental adversity? It could be your mental state and your mental wellness. In fact, like times like this that are challenging, they are providing us conditions that could be giving us mental issues. And if we are very much stressed, it could also lead to depression. I'm sure if you are feeling really stressed out, you need to be careful so that you don't become depressed. And in any case, if you become depressed and stressed out and burnt out, how do you grow out of it and become better? What lessons do you learn from that experience? What about social adversity? Are you one person who is very anxious when meeting people? Are you experiencing some barriers in society where you feel rejected, and how do you deal with that? Because that too can give you some issues and it can also be an opportunity for you to grow. We're saying adversity can build your resilience and it can help you become a resilient leader. So what other adversity can you face? Financial adversity. What obstacle on your financial stability or well-being? In these challenging times, there are job losses, economic declines, personal situations which can lead to financial drain, and that can be a financial adversity. What else? What other adversities can you and me face? Spiritual adversity. We come from different spiritual worlds and our beliefs can be affected. Times like this, which are creating us to ask ourselves, God, are you still with us? God, can you be here and help us? I believe you too are facing something like that. And what is it teaching us? Because maybe this is the time we need more prayers more than before. And this is the time you are saying, I want to trust and believe that there is a living God who sits in the throne and God shall see us through this time. What about emotional adversity? This is your emotions at this time. This is one of the most challenging time. It's putting us through emotions that we don't understand, giving us and ensuring us that we feel very extreme. Like one day we are feeling so good, the next day we are not feeling so good. We feel threatened and we feel like, is there gonna be an end to this? How do we deal with all this? And that's why adversity can build our resilience. Why do I say that? Because adversity makes us strong, makes us resilient. Because if we choose to go on, which we are doing right now, then we know one thing. We have to go through the decision, the declaration to go on makes us resilient. So if you are being made strong, you will not break based on the decision, the declarations that you've made. You will advance. And this will define you in years to come. I said before, we are living in historic times. In years to come, will we look back and say to ourselves, that moment, that challenging year, it was the time that I grew the most. It's the time I discovered my potential. It's the time I realized that I'm a strong person and that I can become decisive, make decisions, push through things that I didn't even know. It's the time that I believed God the most. It's the time I had faith. It's the time I learned. It's the time I built new skill sets. It's the time I discovered my talent. What among those is going to happen to you? And so, how does adversity build your resilience? And I want to look at 10 things that you could be saying to yourself, oh, I think this happened, but I'm not sure whether this adversity is going to help or change me. I'm believing that you will learn from it, because with resilience, it means you are able to deal with disappointment. You are learning from your failures. You are coping with the losses. You are adjusting to the changes. And right now, all of us are forced to adjust, adapt to the changes, because we know now to survive, to move forward, we need to adjust, we need to change. And if we do, then we are persevering, we are learning new things, we are changing, we are being able to create strong emotional states that enable us to cope. This time, it's been the trying time, and we need to navigate in the world. And if we have to navigate, then for sure, we have to do things we've never done before. I believe that if you are doing things you've never done before, then you are growing your critical thinking, your social, emotional, mental skills, and you are building yourself to become better. And I know in the future, you can deal with certain things better than you did before. So, what are 10 ways in which adversity is helping us to grow, to become resilient people? Number one, reflection. So when we look at what we are going through, be it emotional, be it physical, be it social, be it financial, we are learning. We are reflecting back, because this time is forcing us to look at the situation and look at ourselves. We are reflecting. Where did we go wrong? What did we do right? Or what can we do now that we have this situation in front of us? How can we make it better so that it ends well? Where do we need to make changes? Because if we have to change, if we have to go through this, we might need to make some changes. And that will help us to respond with wisdom and precision. So we reflect and we know what is happening, what can we make, where can we make the change? How do we go about it? And we are learning. So number 2, we seek wisdom and knowledge. Are you seeking knowledge? Asking yourself, if it is a financial issue, what knowledge do I need to know so that next time I face a similar situation, I know better? Right now, I know one of the things that is happening is that people are seeking health and spiritual knowledge. People are learning more about their health and how to boost their immune system. Are you seeking knowledge in something? You should be, because this will be one of your resources that will help you to improve your adversity area, the area where you're facing the adversity. It will help you respond and respond quickly and constructively. Number 3, adaptability. When we are faced with situations we are not familiar, and when we reflect and find that we need to make certain changes, we have to allow ourselves to be ready to change. And for us to change, it means we must be ready to adapt. Adaptability is one of the things that make us adjust and cope quickly. If we are not adaptable, we find that situations will look and seem impossible. I believe you are an adaptable person and you will go through this time and you will be successful because you are having adaptability within you. Every human being is able to adapt to changes. So make sure that these unforeseen circumstances has forced you to think on your feet, to see that there are things that needs to be changed. You are changing and responding as fast as you could do. Well done, because I know you can do it. So number 4, persistence. It is one time in your life that you are facing this adversity, this challenge, this obstacle. You are giving yourself hope and you're believing. You can't stop. You can't give up. You've got to go on. And if you have to go on, you have to persist under the pressure. Help yourself build and be bold. Face this time. I know that, like I said before, it's historic time. Your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren will look back and say, my grandmom, my grandpap was here during that challenging time. They made it. So I can make it too. And I believe in you, because if you're here, God has allowed you to go through this, because you will go through this while growing. Number 5, learn from your mistakes. Well, adversity in any area will bring out mistakes that you had. As you reflect, there is one thing that might come to you, that I am facing this adversity because there's something that I didn't learn before and I need to learn right now. So what is that one thing that I need to learn? So understand that mistakes and failures eventually lead to success. This mentality will create a resilient attitude that can respond to obstacles. At this time, as you look at the adversities that you are facing, you know that there are lessons that you are learning. There are lessons that you are learning. From the same adversity, you are getting to know more about yourself as well, because you are getting feedback which is important in terms of moving forward. Number 6, set boundaries. We always don't set boundaries, and sometimes when we are facing situations which are beyond our limits, the only way is to be able to set boundaries. With clear boundaries in the way, we can respond to challenges without doing much or going further. So, what are the things that I know I can do or I can be able to focus on? What are the things I can be able to control? What are the things I can't control? Focus on things that you can control because you know your strength, you know how much you can do, you know how much you can't do. And if only you can set boundaries so that you don't get carried away by things that you can do nothing much about, then you'll be good. So that is something that will help us to build our resilience. I hope the sound is clear. Let me check. I don't know. I'm just assuming because I can't see my Facebook page. Okay, let's go to number 7. Build relationships. Yesterday we saw one of the greatest things that you will have as you face adversity is that you're going to need people who will support you, people who have gone through things that you might not have gone through. We are going through these challenging times, and as some of my mentors say, we're going through a depression. And based on their experience, they know that certain things happen. And when you listen to them, you can learn more about how they went through such times. Even though this time our challenge is different, it's never occurred in our lifetime, it's occurred before for other generations. What can we learn from them, and how can we make sure this adversity helps us to be better? So we are building relationship with people. We need people for information, resources, emotional support, because we know adversity helps us to create relationships. It helps us to work around others. Think about the last time you heard about somebody was facing an adversity, financial, emotional, social, and think about how other people came around to support them. And think about the relationships they created. And because of those adversities they went through, they developed relationships. And that is the case for adversity. It can help you build relationships because we need support and we need people around us to help us as we go through adversities. Number 7, confidence. No, is it number 7? Number 8. There is nothing like confidence building when you're facing and overcoming a challenge. Think about the adversity you have faced before. Think about a challenge you faced before. Did it help you build your confidence? Because if you overcome an adversity, your confidence is built to newer levels where you can believe and trust yourself that I will go through this and I know I will manage to go through this. So when you're faced with adversity, one of the greatest things that you need to remember is that if you give yourself permission to learn, to grow, to reflect, you will be able to build your confidence in new levels, not the same levels as you had before, but new levels. And if you can build confidence in the person who you are, then you are definitely going to be a resilient person because you know, I've gone through this, I should be able to be okay, and I will be able to go through this safely because I trust and believe in myself that I'm capable and competent, and I believe in myself and in my ability. So confidence is built during adversity. So number 9, emotional health. Remember, when you are facing adversity, our emotions are shaken. We feel vulnerable. And if we feel vulnerable, we might begin to start asking ourselves questions and various feelings coming up and showing up, and we wonder whether we can be able to go through it. But emotional health, just like physical health, It's something that helps us to remember that we can go through. And if we exercise this emotional adversity, resilience, we grow. Our emotional health become better. And going through that, it means that we will be able to face situations like this in the future, because emotionally we've built our emotional muscle in terms of what we can go through. So we don't have our emotions up and down. We know we've been through it. We shall go safely through it. Number 10, growth mindset. I've said before, adversity will force you to reflect. Adversity will force you to have particular questions, asking yourself. And when you ask yourself, like, do I have the skills? Do I have the talents? How will I go around this adversity? Then you'll be forced to seek knowledge. And as you seek knowledge, as you want to adapt, you are most likely going to grow. You are going to build new skill sets. And when you are building new skill sets, you are growing. And nothing is as great as having a growth mindset. Unless you just want to, or you choose to remain stuck at this point in your life during this challenging time, I'm sure you have realized that a fixed mindset will not help you. You need a growth mindset, because you have to overcome the adversity you are facing right now. You need to push through, you need to conquer this adversity, and you can only conquer when you're ready to learn and grow. I believe that growth mindset will help you in new ways of thinking. And if that is you, then you are in the right place. We are growing, we are adapting, we are reflecting, and we are becoming resilient. As we are facing this adversity, we are becoming the person, the leader we have always wished to be, or we have always been, but we didn't know, because we wanted to hide ourselves so that others don't feel threatened by us, or others, we didn't want them to know us. It is the time to grow. And I want to ask and challenge you, which one of the 10 will you apply today to your life? Pick one, because one of those is applying to your life. You've got 10 ways in which adversity is building your resilience. Have you given yourself the permission to grow? Have you given yourself the permission to reflect? Are you seeking knowledge? Are you adapting? What among the 10 ways will you pick, declare, and start applying today as you face adversity? Or are you going to stay and remain there, feeling sorry for yourself and wishing everything away? Because wishing everything away, nothing happens. And you know for sure that you've got to pull through this time. Like I said before, we're living in historic times. Your children's children, your great grandchildren will be proud that you, as their grands or great grandfather or mother, you lived through it. So you can't afford to say that I give up at this point. I believe in you. God believes in you. And those who follow you believe in you. So you can't let them down. So thank you so much for joining me, because I know and I believe that this opportunity provided us an opportunity to believe that we shall be through this time, and that you need to know that you can grow and become a resilient leader during this adversity, then it is upon you to make it a reality. So thank you. And most the best thing that I can ask you, take action. Don't leave things that you hear, don't leave that you learn, don't leave things that you learn on the table. Take them, apply them, and make sure your life is better than it was yesterday. Until next time, leave your comments and feedback below. I believe in you, and I know you will make a difference. Thank you and goodbye for today.